Hey, Jared.
Yeah.
Guess what? We have a guest, a call in.
We have a call in? This never happens. What is going on?
Hey, joining us from Farsight, this would be Rob, also known as Flippy Floppy.
How's it going, guys?
Oh, good,
hey,
Rob.
Man.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
So, as you know, this is our special 100th episode of the podcast, and we just want to say thank you to you guys at Farsight for all the info that you give us and leak to us, and then hope that we don't mention all over the air.
Oh, we enjoy the feedback you guys give us, so it's always fun to bounce information off you guys.
I'm curious to know. Because I know that a few of you guys at the studio do actually listen to the podcast. What are the moments that you guys go, yeah, when we do the podcast, and what are the moments that you go, oh God?
I would say those moments are basically like when you guys are calling out the bugs and everything like that. It's like, we generally know all the bugs, and when you're calling them out, we're like, yeah, we know. Or, but you're talking about bugs on older tables, especially because we're like, man, we wish we really could address that, and it's like, hey, we can still fix that. So,
but then again, you just spent the past month doing exactly that.
Yeah. On what tables we could. We couldn't do it for all of them, but we're definitely making an effort to do it on a lot of the tables.
How was that for the entire studio to kind of take that pause?
It wasn't the entire studio.
Okay.
Because we're still working on Stern, and there's a lot going into that. But there's a part of the studio that wasn't working on Stern, so we were taking that time to go back and fix some of the older tables.
I mean, did it feel nice to kind of like? Did you feel kind of the weight, the pressure come off of you, or was it a whole new set of pressure?
It was a whole new set of pressure. I mean, it was great because the amount of stuff that we're fixing and doing, I'm pretty happy with what we're getting done.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a lot of these tables have like totally new feels to them and everything like that, and then like where we're at with Black Knight is like really exciting. So I'm kind of like excited to get that emulation in going, and then getting the new playfield art in, and then get the lights off, looking nice and everything, and redo the tuning for that table. So I'm really excited for that.
That would be good because I refuse to play it until you guys do exactly that.
Yeah, that is going to be pretty good. I know. It's very much an often requested table to get fixed, so that's going to make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I mean, the table's been riddled with bugs, and then ever since I first started playing it, it's just been kind of a nightmare just listening to it. So,
do you think this might become an annual thing that you guys do, or is this just kind of the one-off, and you'll go back to trying to pick things off as you can, month by month?
Definitely an annual thing.
Nice.
That's very good.
We've been trying to do 2 tables every release where we at least address some of the bugs.
Yeah.
And we're just getting better at it, and with the QA department and everything like that, just getting them fixed. So it's just getting better, and we're just able to address more tables now. So
that is excellent news to hear. Well, hey, we know you're busy. We also know that you've got the phlegm bot going all up inside you.
Yeah, we're kicking in.
So we just want to say, hey, thank you to you guys. And if it wasn't for Farsight's Pinball Arcade, we wouldn't be doing our podcast. So
thank you guys for doing the podcast.
What's that?
I said, thanks for doing the podcast. I love listening.
Yep. No, we have an absolute blast doing it, and we appreciate all you guys' support too.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Rob.
Yep. Have a good one.
See, that was pain-free, wasn't it?
That was fine. Yeah.
Well, like I said, if we get Mike in at 3, we can him will grill a little bit because he knows what he can and cannot talk about.
That's right. He is across things. I think Rob did good.
Yeah, I mean, and we even got one bit of nugget out of him. So
yeah, they're going to be doing it more. So this is a good thing.
Yes. Okay, what do you want to talk about this podcast?
Well, I've got Netherworld today.
Yeah.
So that I'll touch on that and the tables. And that's, I don't really have anything else because there's been still no pinball action. We've been waiting for a release. So
Yeah, they just put out the beta for Paragon, but I haven't even looked at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have anything to even say about it. It'd be pointless.
Yeah.
It'd be pointless for me. The trying to think because I didn't re-listen to the last podcast, so I'm a little bit unsure of what the last news was that I did to my tables. Did I mention about the plastics that I got them and installed them?
Last time, like on the show, I don't remember you talking about that.
I don't think I did because I think I picked them up on Tuesday. Yeah, I did. That's when I picked them up, was on Tuesday.
Okay.
So I can mention the plastics. I can mention the advice I've been getting about the connectors, and I guess where I'm gonna get them from. But and I'll mention about. Oh, I know what I'll talk about. The amazing difference that new rubber and wax on a playfield does to it.
No, it makes it play like Pinball Arcade, strangely enough, right?
Holy crap. I honestly don't know. I mean, apart from these, the brand new Sterns, I don't know that I've ever played on a fully waxed and brand new rubber table because it was like freaky.
Was it like playing the one in Pinball Arcade?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
I mean, I'll save it for the podcast and let you know that way. How about that?
Yeah,
no point me telling you now.
That's right. Yeah, do it on the podcast. All right, let's officially do it now.
Okay, here we go. You are listening to the penultimate episode of the BlahCade Podcast. That's right. After this, we will have crossed the magic 100. But this isn't it. It's 99 BlahCades of pinball on the wall.
99 BlahCades of pinball.
I'm your host, Shut Your Trap. Joining me as always halfway across the world, Jared Morgan.
G'day. How's it going?
Good. So yeah, we're just kind of doing some prep work for next week's show. That being said, we missed our usual date of recording on the weekend, so now we're on a weekday because a little thing called Mother's Day got in the way.
Yeah, that's right. My Mother's Day was a little bit eventful for all the wrong reasons.
Oh no!
I got close and personal with a pole in the vehicle and backed into it. So I was going to pick up my mum from her retirement village, and I thought, cool, well, I'll just reverse back into the side street and then we'll drive off. And I didn't see the light pole, which was a very light color in my blind spot. And crunch. I went, what the? Well, I didn't actually say that. I said a lot of other things.
In rapid succession, I'm sure.
In rapid succession. And also had a massive rage in the car with my mum in it as well, which was the best look ever, right? So it felt very cathartic at the end of it because I was doing like death metal screams, basically, at me running into the pole. And the damage to the car is, it's not a lot, but I'm not sure how it's going to go. Like being a Mazda 3, it's a hatchback, so the only bit that got damaged was sort of like the back part of the Mazda 3, and the problem with that is that whole back panel is one piece. Yeah. So it goes all the way from the back all the way over the door arch and to the front of the car. So unless the panel beaters are really good and they can just bash it out and get it back to normal again, I don't know what's going to happen with the car. It may end up being a write-off, right? Which is ridiculous because it's only a small dent, but yeah, it may end up being a write-off, and I don't even know what we're going to do if that happens. So yeah, so that was Mother's Day. So apart from that was okay. We went to IKEA and we had some food there, and I also helped Mum pick up something she wanted to get from IKEA. So the car's still drivable and anything. It didn't actually take out any lights or anything, so it's still roadworthy, still drivable. And I'm taking it to the insurance assessors tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. which is like basically a 15-minute drive in, drive out. They'll take some pictures, and then about 2 days later, they'll say what the damage is, quite literally. Yeah. So the $700 excess later will be, well, let's hope it's a really, really expensive fix. I want it to be at least $10,000 worth of fix, which it probably won't be, because the car won't be worth that much until just write it off. So
yeah.
I don't know.
So many, many years ago, when I was working at the Panavision camera rental house, I started there in their shipping and receiving. And so basically when you start, you were not even in the receiving department. You were in the driving the van and dropping off equipment department. And so we had these minivans, and I'd never driven a vehicle of that size, and they basically throw you the keys and go, here, go deliver stuff. And you're like, oh, okay.
Sure.
So they get this brand new van that they haven't even put the bed liner in it, that, so that protects from the equipment and everything. They hadn't even gotten that in. So we'd had the thing maybe all of 3 days. And so I'd gone out on delivery with the thing, and I come back into this parking lot. There's a little teeny tiny parking lot at the particular Panavision that I worked at, and all spots were full except for one. I went, okay. So I went to go drive to that, and my three managers, basically, from the various departments, they were all outside having a conversation. And so I didn't want to look like an idiot trying to pull into this parking spot and not be able to pull into the parking spot. I didn't want to have to do, some 6-point turn in order to get into it and look incompetent. So I was like, okay, here we go. I'm just going to go right in.
I was going to go straight in. It's fine.
Exactly. What I failed to notice was the small concrete pole that protected the barrier gate, the fence. And I pulled into this parking spot a little wide and just heard this giant.
Oh no.
And then, well, what else are you going to do? Because I wasn't parked correctly, so I backed out and grinded a little bit more, and then finally pulled into the parking spot just fine. And I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay, this isn't good. The three guys are standing right there. So I'm like, what else are you going to do, right? I mean, it's done. What can I say? So I hopped out of the van, and I went walking straight up to them, and all three of their mouths are just like agape. They can't believe it. Like I said, brand new van. And I tossed them the keys, and I go, so, is there some paperwork I need to fill out or what? And it turns out that was the best possible thing I could have said, because they said, pretty much if I had have said anything else, I would have been fired. I mean, I'd only been there for less than a month, maybe 1 month. But they said that attitude was exactly the kind of attitude that you need in the camera department.
So what? Do I need to fill out some paperwork? Where is it going?
and so I was all, so, it was like, okay, fine. And the funny thing was then I didn't have to drive anymore. And then they just put me right into receiving. So that was good.
So you got promoted because you screwed something up.
Pretty much.
That's fantastic.
But then I started hearing all these stories of what other guys had done to the other vans. And in comparison, mine was minor.
Let me guess, they rolled it with a whole lot of really expensive Panavision gear in it.
No, nobody rolled the van, but somebody had a forklift, the armature grind on the top of the roof, because they didn't realize how tall the van was, and they're trying to get underneath it. And I mean, there was all manner of thrashings that went about, but yeah, that was
that was the best line ever. I'll have to take my hat off to you. Not that I'm wearing one, but I would if I had one on. It was very good.
So that's when you mentioned the poll, and you posted pictures on Twitter, I believe. That was what went through my head. I was like, okay, I got.
Oh no, that's yeah. So the wife wasn't best pleased because it's technically her car that she bought before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was less than impressed. But I always try and spin things with a positive slant on them. And I said, well, yes, it's going to cause a bit of inconvenience for us while they get it repaired. But it's really good. That really scratched up bumper that we had on the car, it's going to be completely replaced.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
We're getting a brand new bumper, albeit for $700. But we are getting
forced your hand, but.
yeah, we're getting a brand new bumper. It's going to look great. And every time you open up the boot, you'll see it, and you'll be reminded of just what a great thing it was to have an accident. Yeah, I'll just keep on spinning it. Yeah, so that was Mother's Day for me. But
wow,
yeah, fun, right? So that's going to be good fun.
Yep, good fun. Hey, why don't we talk some pinball like we tend to do?
Yeah, let's do that. What's on the agenda this week? There's not really much digital action going on, is there?
No, the beta for Paragon has started. I've yet to take a look at it, but I mean, because it literally just started.
Right, today.
Yeah. So I haven't had a chance to take a look at that. But yeah, that is the only thing on the digital front. I was even looking at. I get now and then updates from, I guess, Pinball Magazine. Not that I subscribe, but I think I got on their email list somehow. And
yeah, me too.
And a lot of times they'll post, here's what's going on in the pinball world. And all I see is a whole bunch of, well, let's see, there's lots of Dialed In is starting production, and mentions of Batman 66 and code updates, and that the Alien table has released, that Big Lebowski, because they were in the midst of a whole big old snafu. Right,
yeah,
and they might have actually maybe cleared it up to move forward.
Maybe. Jeez. Making pinball machines is hard, honestly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, that it's basically, those are the kind of things that have been kind of going on. Just little side things that have next to nothing to do with the digital world and are too expensive for us to know about in the physical world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's. I guess the only other thing that's certainly nothing happening in the digital world so much, but today is the day of the Netherworld Brisbane Pinball Club meet.
Mm-hmm.
And we picked the tables yesterday. I think I managed to get a vote in yesterday, because usually it's announced and within about 1 minute, all the tables are picked because people just jump on it. So it's going to be a good selection tonight. So we're going to have another shot on Stellar Wars again, that big wide body belly, which is going to be awesome. And then we got Batman 66, which really I could give or take. I don't really like the game, but whatever. Then we've got a Tales from the Crypt, which is probably one of my favorite games to play.
I only recently played that, probably within the last, 6 months. It's been less than a year that I played it for the first time. And that thing has some exceedingly tight, not just ramps, but sinkholes, you might say. Shots to get the ball. And it's like, man, if you don't nail it 100%, that thing's rattling about.
Yep, it's brutal. It's a brutal game. I think I'm going to probably live to regret my love for it tonight. But because you're right. If you balk it, if you don't get that ramp shot, that big ramp shot right, and it comes straight back down towards the flippers, you're dead. It's not good. The other one that's going to be, I had a bit of a play on last time, was Metallica. And I actually did really well on Metallica last time, which of course means I'm going to do absolutely terribly on tonight. So that's going to really suck. Then we got my nemesis.
I'm curious. Do you have an actual strategy for Metallica?
Shoot the ramps.
That's your strategy?
Yeah, shoot the ramps and shoot Sparky a bit, I guess.
I was going to say that whenever I've watched anybody in League play, it seems like it's nail Sparky, get Sparky going. Get that, because he's easy to hit, and I don't want to say he's safe.
He's safe-ish.
It's safe-ish, and hit him enough times to get that multi-ball going. Once he got the multi-ball going, then it's go for everything else.
Yeah,
because you can stack multi-balls, I believe.
That's why I did so well last time then, because I think that's what I did. I got Sparky going, or there's like a captive ball or something you got to smash a couple of times as well on it. This is just a pro.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Instead of the hammer.
I did that a couple of times. Did that a couple of times. That was good. So I'm looking forward to having a bash on that one. I think it's going to be fun. Then of course we've got Creature from the Black Lagoon again. So that one's I'm already not wanting to even contemplate playing that one. And then some evil bastard decided to put Twilight Zone into the voting pool. And so that's in there as well. What were they thinking?
I've had really good luck with Twilight Zone in tournaments.
Yeah.
And you know what I do is I just try and do that ramp combo.
Yeah, do the 3-way combo to the piano and then do the slot machine.
Yeah, I mean, and that keeps me relatively safe for where the ball's traveling. And staying away from the pop bumpers as much as possible. And I don't know. I've had really good luck just trying for that over and over and over again. And eventually, you get your multi-ball. Once you get multi-ball, then it's kind of like watch the score just crank up. But yeah, when I aim for things, I do terrible on it.
Yeah. Yeah. But when you're just going with the flow,
well, like I said, when I go with just that one strategy, and everything else is just random that I'm hitting and collecting points randomly. But when you're shooting all the way to the back of the playfield, that tends to be a safe shot. Rather than having your ball go side to side, it's going straight up and down. So
yeah, it should be. I did okay after I fixed it up last time. I got like about 500 million on it. So if I can pull that off again tonight, I'd be pretty happy.
I had Jared post his fix to on Pinside. They have a link or a thread that's basically what is it, nightmarish fixes or
yep.
Just things you've seen on pinball machines that you should not see on pinball machines. I was like, Jared, you got to post yours.
Yeah, I did. I actually. I'm not going to email updates on that thread, so I don't know if people are going, that's the best fix ever, or you are a terrible person. Probably a little 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I think.
Right.
So the last two are Spidey Vault Edition, which I played last week. It's really nice to play. They've done some minor tweaks to some of the mechanisms on it, and it's made a big difference to the consistency of that game. So that's really good. And the very last one, which I must admit I've never played before, is the Walking Dead Premium. So that is going to be a little interesting. It's going in fresh. I might leave that one to last. Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike Metallica, where bashing Sparky is safe.
Stay away from the prison.
Walking Dead, yes, they have the prison, and it's not kind.
It's
just try and do ramp shots. That's your best bet.
Ramp shots. I'm just going to do it. Yeah, ramp.
I've never figured out how to actually do modes on Walking Dead.
Oh yeah.
It just kind of randomly happens for me. I've not been able to figure it out. It's kind of it's a weird table for me. There's lots of blinky lights, but I can't ever figure out the progression.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an interesting night tonight. I think. What I did last time was I got there and I immediately started playing my tournament games, and I just did so terribly on the first two that I just jinxed myself for the rest of the night. So I'm going to have a couple of practice games on the non-tournament games because, of course, there's no practicing on the tournament games up to the tournament started, which is at 4 o'clock. I usually get there about 5 o'clock. So I'm going to just go around and have a bit of a bash around on a couple of other ones, and then I'm going to start my first tourney game and see how that strategy works for me, rather than just going in cold.
Do you find it difficult for in tournament to do like dead passes?
No, I did it all the time on Twilight Zone in the tournament. It worked really well, surprisingly, because that game's usually brutal.
Because I find it when I'm just in practice mode and relaxed, I'll do the dead passes all the time, and let the ball just kind of bounce, and I won't be flipping willy-nilly. But man, once I'm in an actual tournament game, I like.
You forget it all.
You might call it tightening up. I'm not relaxed in play at all.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There is one. I really hope this doesn't have to come to pass. But the standby table is a shadow, and you've had to go on that one in recent times.
Yeah.
Boy, those flippers. Boy, they're like miles apart, and so brutal that game.
They're miles apart, and the ramps are super close to them. And so you think, it should make it easier to hit the ramps. But the bad news is if you miss the ramp, the ball just comes that much faster right back at the flipper.
Yeah. If you hit like on the left ramp, if you brick on any of those stand-up targets, you are dead. In fact, you're so dead that sometimes it will actually ricochet off the targets and fly right over the flippers into the out hole. So it's not a fun time, that table. So yeah, I hope everything stays working because I don't want to have to play that one.
We don't want that as the backup table. Exactly.
But speaking of real pinball, what's been going on with your growing collection of pinball machines?
Growing.
Growing frustration, maybe, or cost.
Cost would definitely be a factor there. So I had scanned my clear plastic pieces. So basically, everybody's familiar with the printed plastic. If you play TPA, you know what I'm talking about with the printed plastic. It's the decorations on the table that give it that cowboy theme, you might say. But unlike a lot of Williams games that I've played, the plastic is double stacked. So you've got the printed plastic, and then underneath that, rather than using metal rails, they use plastic rails.
Oh, yeah.
The clear plastic, and it basically allows the light to shine through, even more, illuminate the table even better. And cool. So I had scanned those pieces in and sent them to my pal who has a laser CNC machine. He also got a regular CNC machine, but he said he could do it on his later. And
everything's good with lasers. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. And two of my pieces had been broken, so he went ahead, put them into Adobe Illustrator, traced the actual pieces that I'd sent him, and then added in we kind of guessed as to what the broken end would look like. Looked on what the reproduction plastics look like, and kind of figured it out from there. And so I went over to his house on last Tuesday. He cut those pieces up for me. First, we did a wooden version, wooden test pattern, you might say. Also, kind of figure out what the hole size for where the metal standoff bells would be inserted into.
Oh, right, okay.
And once we had gotten the template done, then we went ahead and cut our 1/8-inch piece of acrylic. And it took all of 5 minutes for him to cut those out. And then I took them back home with me, put all the standoff bells back into those pieces, and then installed it onto the table. And it was one of those things where when I melted the standoff bells into the acrylic, it kind of also, because the holes were a little smaller than they probably should have been, and so some of the acrylic melted into the inside of the bell, drill out that to make the standoff bell have like it was, where the wood screw that you drop in just should plunge right in. Instead, I wound up screwing it into place, and that caused some alignment issues because
it would have.
Because the screw was trying to go one direction and the hole was another direction, and so I was kind of fighting it. But eventually, I got everything in place, and the acrylic looks great. I need to still redo my flipper guide of plastics and adjust them a little bit because I've still got the ball hop going on, so I need to adjust the hole. Get another piece of that cut and hopefully take care of that. But so while I had, when I took off all that plastic, it was like, well, might as well depopulate the entire playfield so I can give it a good wax. So I gave it a good waxing and just went out and got some Carnauba wax and put it on there, and it was one of those things where I'm used to waxing a car and knowing what it looks like, and waxing on a playfield surface, it wasn't fogging up like I was hoping to. I don't know if that's just what it wasn't gripping on or whatever, but anyway, I might have put a little too much wax on there. And then I wiped it off the towel and everything. And my neighbor had a tumbler for metal polishing, so I was throwing all manner of things into the tumbler, whether it be the springs on the shooter rod or the pinballs themselves. So I kind of did all that, and then I installed all the new rubber. And I got to say, I don't think I've ever played with a freshly waxed table and brand new rubber, because that ball does some wacky things.
Yep, it sure does.
It's it's interesting, the ball behavior, because you realize it's kind of like bowling, where that ball, it's spinning, but once it grips, it'll all of a sudden divert and do curveballs on you. And then throw in the fact that the rubber, I'm used to seeing what slingshots do and any of the powered rubber returns, what they do, but it's the passive rubber that is shocking to me, because man, that ball bounces.
Yeah, with beautiful fresh rubber, it's almost like they're powered, eh?
Oh, completely. Yeah, it really, I got to say, it messed me up for the first 20 or so games that I played, because suddenly my scores were terrible.
You were so used to such dead rubber, like with all the perish rubber that you had on the table.
Yeah, because with the dead rubber, the ball just kind of brushes against things and kind of moves more in predictable trajectories, you might say.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas now, like I said, add it between the rubber and the waxing on the playfield, I have no clue where the ball is going half the time.
It's random. It's physics at its best.
It is, and I gotta say, I think that would be really difficult to program. It's not just a matter of having ball speed; you'd actually now have to incorporate the physics of traction.
Yeah, imagine trying to program that. That would just be so difficult, because you would have to pretty much randomize everything. You'd have to actually put a friction component in, and also,
if the ball is spinning X amount of speed, how fast does it have to stop spinning before it all of a sudden takes grip on the surface itself? And then what direction is it going to be? Is it going to be flying? So,
hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Mike.
We've got a guest.
Okay, hold
How's
on.
it going, man?
We're gonna do a proper introduction, because this is gonna be for the next podcast, not for this podcast. So we're gonna have it be cut in, if you will. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Hey, Jared, guess what? We've got yet another phone call coming in.
Oh, another one?
And this one is also from Farsight. This would be Mike Lindsay, the community manager, among many other things.
G'day, Mike.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Well, we're just recording this 100th episode. That's all.
Yeah.
I know,
Nothing
man.
serious.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. The question that we also have talked to Rob, and so we're going to throw this to you, the same question that we threw to him, which is, what is the part about the podcast that you're like, yay, you enjoy hearing, and are there parts of the podcast you go, oh God, please stop talking about that?
Well, honestly, I don't think there's anything I don't want to hear about, and obviously, I think my favorite is just hearing.
I'm sorry, you cut out there on that. Your favorite is what? Uh-oh, we might have lost him.
I think Mike is actually in the car.
He is in the car.
Looking at the...
Oh, there he goes. Now he's back. Okay, well, you froze that. you froze right on your favorite part is.
Oh, that's right. All right. Well, my favorite part is just hearing about us, hearing about pinball. Obviously, man. Pinball is the best thing.
Well, we certainly enjoy talking about it, as you can tell. How has it been trying to do both the Stern Pinball Arcade and Pinball Arcade at the same time?
It's definitely been hectic, but fun. It's exciting to get the new Stern tables.
I was going to say your collection gets a little pricier there at the studio with those tables coming in, huh?
Yeah.
Has there been a table that is on your wish list? I mean, obviously you can't discuss what's coming up in season 7, but is there, after this many tables that you guys have put out, is there anything that you're still just like jonesing for that you hope to get put into the game, whether it be one of the Stern tables or the regular Williams Bally kind of variety?
I think, I mean, I always say this, I really want to have Metallica in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one of my favorites. And I'm not really 100% sure if we're going to be able to do that or not, but if we are, that's going to be amazing. And then
we
for
keep on
older
we keep on
tables,
thinking that it is just because of the fact that they're doing the Vault Edition, and that seems to be like it would open up the opportunity again. But that's just us
that
speculating.
seems like it'd be pretty exciting.
Yeah. But older
Yeah.
tables. What do you think for the older tables?
It's really hard because we've done. I'm trying to think though. Jurassic Park, is what people are asking for, and it's something that I think I would enjoy having.
Mm-hmm.
It would get the fans pretty excited. Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
What
about you guys?
Well, for me, my standby is always roller games. I'm not going to be happy till that's in there, but I always say my holy grail table is for you guys to get NBA Fast Break.
Oh yeah, that's actually I would say the one that I really want.
Especially
and then be able
since
to link it with someone else's device, right?
bingo, it's to be able to have it linked and play against somebody that way. I think would be so fantastic because very few people. Very few people have ever played it linked in real life. So
no, I certainly haven't.
Yeah.
I've played a lot, so
I've only seen it once linked in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Yeah, it kind of adds a whole different flavor.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, it's probably Bonsai Run, purely because it's a unique table, and there's not a lot of them around from what I understand. They're a little bit rare.
Yeah, I've only seen them in Pittsburgh. I think they have some at Arcade Expo, but I don't think they're linked.
Yeah. I saw one at Arcade Expo. Yeah, and you're right, it was not linked. What kind of what do you guys got coming up for? Well, I mean, with you, it's always traveling to these various shows. What are your next shows that you got to go to? I assume like California Extreme is probably going to be coming up. No, we might have lost him again.
The perils of broadcasting on the road, eh?
Well, he's also driving down the mountain, so who knows what cell service is.
Oh yeah, well that would be the problem for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, we're driving. It's kind of spotty out here.
Yeah.
Are you actually driving down the mountain at the moment?
Yeah, we just got down to the bottom, and we're just pulling into a shopping center to get the last minute stuff for the trip.
Wow, good.
There you go.
Where are you heading off to?
Sorry, still can't hear you.
Now, where were you heading off to?
It's probably more trouble. It's probably more trouble for you guys, and it's worth it. What do you think?
Well, this is the beauty of editing. We can cut out all the dead spots.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. It's all right. I'll just do a lot of post-processing on this one, Mike. It's fine.
No. Yeah, he's really in a bad spot. Okay.
He's in a bad spot. We might drop him.
Yep, we might have to. I just want him to know want him to be able to hear that we're exiting it up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, you guys gonna go ahead and cut it out? I think it's more trouble than it's worth with all this bad signal.
Exactly. That's okay. We're just doing these small little bits anyway. So
okay.
But hey, Mike, I just want to say thank you for the support that you've given us. You gave us codes when we were doing Game of the Month. Or Table of the Month, Tournament of the Month, whatever I was calling it back then. And you guys have been always very generous with the info. So just thank you so much. You guys definitely are a key component to our podcast.
Yep.
Right. Well, you guys are very welcome for everything. If you can hear me, and I just also want to thank you guys for all the coverage, and congratulations on your 100th episode. And I'll on when I get back.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. Talk to you again soon.
See you later.
All right. See you guys.
And that was Mike Lindsay from Farsight, the community manager among many other tasks that he does.
Yeah.
But if you ever go to a show and see the Farsight booth, Mike is going to be one of the guys that's always manning the booth.
Yes. He's good people.
Okay, so there was that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was I talking about? I was talking about 8-Ball Deluxe and the
screws,
waxed the waxed playfield. So
waxed
okay,
playfield
so
rubbers.
I know what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so here we go. So in addition to the waxing and the new rubber, I decided that I was going to, I guess, add a little bling, if you will. Well, it's one of those things that I've always, whenever you see any of the high-end restorations or whatever, everything is just super duper shiny, right?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Obviously, I'm not doing a restoration right now. I'm just trying to make the thing, function. But that doesn't mean that I can't do some things. And so the one thing that I decided to do was all of my screws, which were all dull and just kind of nasty looking. I decided I'm going to replace all those with brand new shiny. And it turns out that Pinball has weird lengths of their screws.
Yes.
So I wasn't able to replace. I replaced the machine screws. Those were the only ones that were fine going all the way through the playfield because of the little T-nut that they screw into. But the wood screws I wound up keeping the same. But all I did was I just took a Dremel to the tops of them and shined them up that way. But then what I did was I bought new washers. And so anywhere where a screw was touching plastic, I put a washer into that.
Good.
To protect the plastic a little bit more, spreads out the pressure. But also it just adds a little bit of more shine to it. But then also on the slingshots, they usually have these little plastic caps.
Yes.
White plastic caps. Yeah, tossed those, went and replaced them with silver caps.
Oh, nice.
So it's, again, a little jewelry there. And then there's a couple of other spots where they had the, it was like a little rubber cap, little white rubber cap.
Yep.
And I took all those off and put the silver caps on those too. So, yeah, it's not a huge difference, but it is one of those things where you kind of look and you don't see any of that dullness anymore. So that was one little other adjustment that I threw onto the table just for the fun of it.
That does sound good. It must be playing real nice now.
It does play real nice. It's funny because when you were mentioning with Metallica, I'm wondering how I'm going to do the next time I play that, because it's got those same inline drop targets that 8-Ball Deluxe has.
No, yes.
And I haven't gotten good at hitting those yet, but I've gotten a lot better. And I'm wondering where on the playfield it is in comparison to Metallica's, if it's in the same spot, maybe the same location. Just one of those things where it's like, hey, that might become an easy shot for me.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Here's hoping. My next task.
You have to get down and play one.
I know. My next task with the table is the conundrum of the lights. I did get the new computer chip that I needed to replace on the lamp driver board, because every single computer or every single light that was associated with this one chip, it was the U2 chip, those were all the lights that were out. So I thought that, well, what Nick thought when he was looking at the table and trying to figure out the problem, he figured, hey, you replace the chip, that should fix the problem. Well, I got them from eBay, and nope, did not fix the problem. So now everybody is saying what everybody's been saying all along: replace the connectors. So I guess it's time for me to try replacing the connectors. I got clued into a website that I wasn't aware of before. It's Big Daddy. He's based out of Texas. I want to say it's BigDaddyEntertainment.com. But I'm not sure. If you just Google Big Daddy Pinball, you'll find it. Anyway, unlike a lot of the other pinball parts websites, his is almost all exclusively the electronics aspects. So everything that you want to replace on the boards, all your fuses, all your transformers and your diodes and everything. And the nice thing with his is he bunches them not by game specifically, but by brand. So if you've got a Valley table and you have this, you know what board you have, then
like
fine.
a Valley System 11, then he'll give you all the System 11 components. That's
exactly.
So good.
So he sells the connectors for basically all the boards that are on my machine, and it's one of those things where everybody says you should just replace every single connector.
Yep.
And although he sells them as kits, and the kits themselves aren't that expensive, they're between, I don't know, I think they're between like $8 and $18 depending, which is not bad at all. But the problem is then when you have 6 different boards to replace them all on, it kind of adds up really fast. I think I'm going to start with just buying the connectors for the lamp driver board and maybe for the solenoid board, which is where that was the one that my connector, if it's not in just the right spot, the MPU goes out.
Okay, yeah, so, you want to replace that for sure.
Yeah, so that's one that I'm obviously want to replace. But then I also need to buy the crimper tool, and it's one of those things where it's just going to add up real quick.
Yeah.
But in the long run, obviously you want it, so that'll be that'll be something that needs to get done on there eventually. I don't know how soon. And as far as firepower goes, I am going to. Well, after I need to try it out myself. Apparently, cutting frisket is relatively easy if you're doing it in a straight line, but good luck doing it on a curved line.
No, okay.
I was advised to basically try it out. Draw some curves on something else, put some frisket down, and just to see that freehand ain't going to work.
Right.
In which case, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do because it might completely change my painting strategy.
Yeah.
All the areas that are like supposed to be white, which is basically hidden by all the plastics. It's where your GI lights tend to go.
Yes.
Those are all the areas where there's these crazy curves going on.
Yep.
And so that might be a case where, you know what, it doesn't get the white. Oh well. The inserts, my same pal that did the laser CNC, he was saying, you know what, we can just create a stencil for all the inserts. Because I have a copy, a PDF, you might say, of the sticker sheet that would go for the inserts, so he can use that and create stencils, and we'll use those to paint, and that'll be better than doing the water slide decals, I believe. And obviously, then we won't be having to hand paint, because anytime you hand paint, you make the lines a little too thick.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I think it's right now at the moment, it means just doing the red lines, the red lasers, and doing the inserts, and possibly filling in some of the black at various points on the table. But I don't know. Like I say, I'm just kind of the opinion of, since I can't do a complete restoration on the playfield, then maybe the beat up look isn't terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. I think once you get your eye in and you get the right brushes, because you've got to get good quality brushes if you're going to do this. You can't just
I'm not doing brushes. I'm airbrushing.
Yeah. Well, that's one approach. If you get it right, you can brush pretty effectively as well.
Yeah, but the reason why you do airbrush is because it's a much thinner paint that you're putting on, and therefore you're not going to have any lumpiness next time you clear coat.
Which means you won't get any bubbles like you got last time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know. Ideally, yes, you would want to do it, but I don't know. Maybe there's got to be a way of working around that. Maybe you could just do some passes on all the edges that are straight, because there should be plenty of long runs there that are straight. Like you're saying, like cut your teeth on the lasers first,
right?
See how you
see where we go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then try an inconspicuous part, like maybe up the back of the playfield on some of that white, and see how you go with some of the curvy bits there. You might surprise yourself. You might actually be able to do it. The other thing you might be able to try, and this is maybe a little controversial, is that even if you do overspray a little bit with the airbrush, you might just be able to wipe it off and just go around it. So,
maybe.
You may just be able to do that. Get a Q-tip and just wipe it off.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd try a few approaches. The good thing is that you've already done the clear coat, the first layer, so wiping things off of that paint surface is going to be pretty easy.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much have a go and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And don't get too bogged down. Remember, this is your pin, and you can do what you like with it, basically. So,
yep.
Yeah, do what you like with it.
It's funny because we had a yard sale this past weekend. Getting rid of all the boys' toys from when he was a little kid. Because it's like, you're not playing with these. Why don't we earn some money off of this, huh? And so I got the bright idea of putting my pinball table out there. Just figured, hey, maybe people want to play it. The short version is nobody so much as want to touch it. I even had a kid look at it and go, "What is that?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I had posted on Craigslist that we were having the yard sale and kind of mentioned some of the stuff we had. And one of the things I said is, "Hey, come and play some pinball." And I got 3 responses. So is it for sale? I was like, no. I said, come play, not the pinball is for sale. And then I had a couple of people when they actually came to the yard sale, they're like, is pinball for sale? I'm like, no.
It's not.
Like, I just got it. I don't have a for sale sign on it. Jeez. People wouldn't pay any money for it anyway.
No, it's Craigslist. They'd ask like $500 below what it was worth. And then, cry foul that you weren't doing a good deal.
Right. The good news is, if I do want to sell any of these pinballs eventually, it seems like it'll be relatively easy to move them. But I don't want to. My whole thing is going to be, if I sell it, I want to replace it. So if we could trade, or you better give me enough money that I can buy one.
Yeah. Now, I know last time I pondered the idea of contacting my contact my contact. There we are.
Yes.
About purchasing a pinball machine. I haven't yet done that yet. It was a very chaotic week last week, so I didn't get a chance to do it. But
on top of that, you put a $700 dent in your car.
Yeah, which may sort of impact things a little bit. Impact, get it? So that's an interesting scenario. But I'm still I haven't given up on the idea. I think I'm going to be probably disappointed in what I can get for $1,000, but at the same time, I can look at it as an opportunity to practice my restoration skills, perhaps.
Yep.
So, as long as it's like electronically sound and everything works, then cosmetic things I can fix, generally speaking.
That's what I said when I bought Firepower.
Like, does it? Yeah, and look where it is now. Like you're basically doing exactly that. So it's possible.
It is possible.
I don't have any mates with CNC machines and tumblers. So, or not to my knowledge, though. Certainly not in the neighborhood. So
well, it's funny because I wound up, after I posted pictures, I got a response from somebody, actually a couple people, where they were like, "So we can get these cut?" But one guy he messaged me and he said, "Hey, your acrylic is just going to wind up shattering eventually." And he goes, "You really should have done this with Lexan." I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "I happen to have sheets of Lexan, and if you'd be willing to, cut it, then you can have the extra piece and cut one for yourself." I was like, "Oh, okay, great."
Oh.
So I let my buddy know. I was like, "Hey, how about it?" And he goes, "Yeah, here's the problem." He goes, "Lasers and Lexan, it winds up emitting a toxic gas."
Oh, whoops. Oh, that's not good.
So he's like, "I'm not doing it on the laser CNC." He goes, "I could do it on the regular CNC, except for it requires a certain bit because the Lexan the Lexan will melt. And so there's a certain speed that you have to be able to cut through it without it melting too much. But the speed has to be enough that you don't wreck the bit." And so he's gonna look into that a little bit for me, see what happens. But I'm also like, you know what? He's only 20 minutes away from me. I don't care if I break some acrylic, then I'll just get some new acrylic made. It's not the end of the world. He's got the file. It took 5 minutes. We're good.
Joe, look, I've got 10 sets of these done up. I don't care.
Exactly.
If they crack, I'll just put another one on. Exactly. I would totally be of that opinion as well. Whatever.
Yeah. The most amount of time that's going to take with the whole process is me taking the bells off and putting them back on. But
big deal. done that before. You're an expert now.
Yeah, I'm an expert. Sure.
Oh.
Well, hey, folks, we're gonna wrap it up. Big things, we hope. I don't know. Some things are falling through, some things aren't. But big to do next week with the 100th episode. Hopefully, we'll have a bunch of guests coming in and kind of reminiscing along with us. And who knows? Should be a good time. So
it should be.
It should be. In the meantime, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to Jared and my Twitter feeds. Mine is @ShutYourTraps. His is @JaredMorgs. And then, of course, there's the all-important show Twitter feed, which is @BlahCade. You can also visit our website, BlahCadePinball.com. Fire off an email to us. Ask us some questions. Hey, why don't you go ahead and share your favorite aspects of the podcast or things that you don't like? Who knows? Maybe we can read those too. I don't know. It can be all fun. Whatever you want to comment to us, email us, blahblahblahcade@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I think I've hit upon all the business aspects of those things. So until next week, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.